Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Machinimator, Isaiah Cal 1, here with your very first Pixel Workshop. With these Pixel Workshops, we're going to be showing you guys how to do a couple things that we implement in our day-to-day YouTube videos. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys how I pan and zoom and use sound effects correctly, but like I said, this is just my personal filming style. I think it's time to get started. Okay, so as you see, this will not be scripted. I'm completely doing this off the dome. Okay, so I pre-filmed my shots before I even did this because there would be no way to show you guys my filming process if I'm filming inside the game. So we'll save that for another tutorial. But I'm going to show you guys my panning and zooming and sound effects. So as you see here, I just gathered up a quick short real quick. I don't really want to call it a short, but whatever you want to call it. I just gathered up a couple clips. And what I'm doing now is I'm lining them up so we can have our sound effects. You see, with my editor, this is Camtasia 8. There is Camtasia 9, there's Adobe After Effects, there's Sony Vegas, but I use this. I use Dolphin, and Dolphin is my emulator, so I can get inside the game. And when I film, I have a screen recorder on, so I can get my shots and everything. That's how I do that. Like, that's pretty much like my capture card. So, what I'm doing now is I'm taking away the sound effects from my microphone that it picked up. Oop, I'm actually removing the wrong thing. I'm taking away the sound effects that my microphone picked up, and I'm actually going to keep in the sound effects that were in game that the screen recorded, because that's the things you're going to hear. So let's start from the very beginning. So we got this one right here. What I do is I get some nature, just to build up some time, dramatic effect. You have the clouds moving in the background. Eventually the grass might move a little bit. You got water moving. It's good. So what we're going to do is, from the beginning, what I'm going to actually do, since it's not big enough, we're going to extend it out a little bit. I'm not going to get this because I want to get those clouds in the background. It looks really realistic and good. So I'm going to actually start from this side because I like this side. And we're going to get a pan zoom. I'm not sure what your editors do, but with Camtasia 8, I'm able to easily move it left and right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it towards this way. It doesn't really matter what speed I do it at as long as it goes that way. Going down here, it allows me to determine how long I want this. I'm going to make it go the entire way, and I'll show you why in a second. For dramatic effect, we have our transitions. I always go with the fade because, it's pretty simple. It looks good. So if you see like this, it looks dramatic, doesn't it? And it looks great. If I went from the other direction, the clouds in the background, if you see right here, would look like they weren't even moving. So that's why I did that. Gonna move over here. So just to see what the clip is, I have my character walking. Okay, pretty simple. But if you heard in the background, I'm gonna play it again, you can hear that there was a jump sound effect. So we don't want that. What we're gonna do, let's close up on this. Let's stop the video right where you hear it. That's where you want to stop it at. What we're going to do, I'm going to cut all this out. I'm going to go in our visual, or not visual properties, our audio editing, and we're going to fade it in, because what that does is it gives it an effect like you're passing by something. Like, think about when you're walking on the street or something and you hear cars passing by. That's the effect I'm going for. So let's play it again without all of that, and this is what we get. Isn't that better? Let's make the steps a little bit louder just for the effect. But it's better, isn't it? Here we go. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to let a family member in the house. But Yeah, so let's play that again. It's more realistic and it's cool. Actually, one last thing I'm going to do. Hold on. One last thing I'm going to do is you know how we had that fade in effect? We're going to have it fade out because it sounds like he's passing by. Like I said, I totally forgot to bring that in. So I'm going to move the audio points. Oop, did not mean to do that. I'm going to move the audio points a little bit because you see that you don't have sound the entire time. So we're going to move it right here. And it's cool. It's great. We don't want to have a bunch of dead space of just grass with nothing. So we're going to cut this video right here. And we're going to move the clips down. So the next clip is another running shot. But what I'm doing is implementing as much movement as possible in different shots. Because the human eye, it's been proven to easily get bored of things like this. You know, just one dead shot the entire time with not a different change of scenery. So basically I'm showing the running still, but just at a different shot. So if you want to look at it real quick. All right, so that's what the shot is. What we're going to do is we're going to let's do the audio first. Let's cut this down because we only have a little bit. But what I'm going to do, since it's so quiet and it seems like he's moving up closer to you, I'm going to make it, I'm going to start an audio point very low. So let's start right here. And we're going to actually, it's going to be a fade in effect. So we're going to make sure that this is the loudest. So let's add another one. Where are you, button? Here it is. All right, so add in audio point. And we're going to make it fade in just like we did last time, but it sounds better. So this is what it's going to sound like. You know, it's more realistic. And just for effect, we're going to make this bigger. Not for the sake of it being big, but for the sake of him walking in. So let's make sure, where does he stop walking? This is the exact moment he stops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this part right here. Usually don't have to, but just for Pete's sake, let's do it. Actually, I don't want to do that. But we're going to move it all the way to out here so we have the full entire screen. What we're going to do is we're going to stop it right here. So let me drag this movement point all the way to here, and we're going to see what it looks like. It helps with the movement if you look right here. If you see what I mean. Let's get the timing a little bit better. Yeah, I like it that way. And just for a little bit more effect, I'm going to have a little fade here, not too long. So we're going to make it like this short, and it gives it this effect. So if we play what we have so far, this is what it looks like. Start from the very beginning. Notice how quiet it is. It's because I haven't added any sort of audio effect yet. We're going to get to that eventually. But let's just handle the filming first. Just in case, because I definitely missed this, I'm going to add another fade effect right here. So it's just not a straightaway cut. So it's more dramatic. Let's have it a little bit longer, just for cinematic effect. There you go. All right, so right here, it seems like it's dead space, but I actually want all this, and here's why. I'm going to show you in a little bit. We're going to move to the next clip real quick, and this is what the clip is. Let me move it. Let me make it a little bit bigger so it shows the entire place. So it's a beautiful scene. It's just him looking at, it's me looking at the water. So what I'm gonna do, let's move this so it's next to each other. I'm not going to have a fade effect, so it's because it's going to be dramatic if I find the right music. Let's let's get a little experimental with this. What we're going to do is make this, since I usually would make it bigger, but since we can't do that, I'm going to just have it move to the side. All right, and we're going to have that for the rest of the time. So right when it finishes that effect, you'll see. And then we have the big finish. This, we're going to want this. Let me see how long this clip is real quick, because I'm actually not sure. There's a lot of outtakes, so yeah, there was an outtake here. So what I'm gonna do is, oh, that's a nice shot. I'm gonna go to the point where I liked it. Right here. We're gonna take out all this extra stuff because we don't need this. It's useless. I'm gonna cut it back down here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to make this a little bit bigger so we can do that pan effect I was speaking about earlier. We're going to have it go to this side. Okay. At the end of the clip, if you see this little movement, it's him walking away. So you see how the stage, the measurements actually stopped at a certain point. So what we're going to do is right when he's invisible, we're going to cut the shot. And we're going to move it right here. So this is what it's going to look like. Now, lastly, what I'm going to do is we're going to end it with one more scenery shot, which is the water he's looking at. Like I said, it's just pure scenery, so you don't want to have a lot of dead space with it, but you just want to have enough. I'm going to make it a little bit big so we have room to zoom out with. Right here. And real quick, let's see how appropriate it seems. About right here seems like a good place to stop. I can delete this because there's no audio. So we're going to have the movement point right here, and this is what we're going to say. Cool, right? We're going to end that with a fade effect. Okay. So, now, if we look at all our scenes together, this is what we're going to have. We got the nice scenery. Just to know that he's in a grass plain field, you know what I'm saying? All right. We see, oh, look, we see someone walking. Cool. Still walking. It looks like he's at some sort of fort. I wonder where he's looking at. Bam. Beautiful spot. Bam. So it's a pretty cool little scene. It's a few seconds. This is where the fun gets to me personally, because this is where the creativity shows out. What we're going to do is I have a lot of audio. We're going to add some sound effects. If you didn't notice, I completely deleted all kinds of in-game music, and the only sound effect that I kept is the footsteps. There's a reason for that. With me, so I cut it real quick just so I can go get my audio effects. But what I did was I gained a wind sound effect, and I gained a forest sound effect. Real quick, just so you know where I get them, I will go on YouTube, for example. I'll put wind sound effect. Find one that I like. Let's go with this, for example. We will copy the URL, and we go on this website called U2 MP3 Online Video Converter. You don't have to technically just use this one because there's a billion out there, but I just like this one. You would go in, put the link here, and it will convert it, and you can just download your sound effect. So, what I did, I got the wind sound effect. I'm pretty fond of this one. We're going to make this sound 10 times more realistic. So I'm going to line up to the beginning of the video, have it over here, and just so it doesn't sound extremely cut, I'm going to fade it out. But let's actually have it faded in too. So this is what it's going to sound like with the effect. And notice we don't want deadly winds, you know? So let's lower it a little bit. That's better. It sounds like we're on a beach, doesn't it? So you got the main gist of it. And lastly, I usually add nature sounds, depending on, or if I'm in the city, I'll find city sounds, nature sounds, things like that. But in this situation, I saw a lot of birds. It seemed like a quiet, dead space because there weren't any other humans there. So what we're gonna do, just fade this in, fade this out, and I'm gonna lower the quality real quick. Down here, and here's how that's gonna sound. That's a little too loud. My dog is so Brandy. Sorry. But yeah. Let's not have it too loud. I don't want to sound like there's birds right in front of the microphone. There you go. Doing now, you hear a bunch of birds, you hear water. You hear the wind. It's not drowning out the footsteps, so we can still hear that. Lastly, what we're going to do is add some music. Like I said, you do the same method with the YouTube, but I don't actually have one picked out yet. So what I'm going to do, I like One Piece music. Be extremely careful with what you do, music wise, but I like One Piece music. Not their anime openings though. I mean, even though those are really good, but their background music. So what we're gonna do is find the anime's OST. Like, you can use video games, you can use TV shows, you can just use originals music, but just make sure you credit whoever you're using. And just be careful with copyright. So I don't like these. He sounds like fighting music. Just search talking music. We're just gonna just try out a little bit of everything. I don't like any of this either. Out to see. I'm just like trying out a couple of things. Let's see what Mother C is. I don't technically need this. I mean, I'm not technically fond of this music, but just for time's sake, let's just go with it. It's called Mother of C. So got our OST. I'm gonna go back over here, import it. Mother of C, here we are. What we're gonna do, put it in here. And we're gonna make sure it's, like I said, like last time, we're not gonna make it too loud. Listen to it. See, it's beautiful, isn't it? And that's how it's done. That's exactly how it's done. And it's easy. It wasn't long. Wasn't time consuming. And it looks good. I'm gonna fade it out just like I did with that. I don't need to fade this in because it already has a space. But yeah, that's how I do it. I'm gonna make sure that the end product is at the end of the video, so you guys could just see what it looks like instead of having a little preview right here. But yeah, I'm Isaiah Cowan, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this workshop, and look forward to the next one from the next Pixel member. All right, see you guys later. Isaiah Cowan out.